The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Leadership Podcast. It is yet another edition of The Big Issue. And of course, I hope you had a very wonderful weekend. And without taking much of the time, we're going to go into the big issue, which is AGF Malami's homily at the United Nations General Assembly, the presidency and calls on. And as usual, with me here in the studio to take on this big issue is our in-house analyst, Perhaps Silas Ezebu,
Good to have
and Adebi Adedapo.
Feels good to be here again.
You're welcome to this program. And as usual, I'm your regular host, George Abba is my name. Well, for the big issue, the Minister of Justice and Attorney General of the Federation, Abubakar Malami, told journalists last week on the sidelines of the United No, he didn't mention those identified by the federal government. He assured that they will be prosecuted. In Malami's work, two, blocking the leakages associated with the funding, and then three, embarking on aggressive investigation. That is indeed impacting positively in terms of the fight against terrorism. Well, but the presidency last week Monday said the government was not interested in naming and shaming sponsors of terrorism, but was only interested in winning the war against the criminals. Presidential spokesman Femi Adesina said last week Monday that naming and shaming will not be the motive. Bringing malefactors to justice will be it. Nigeria is not interested in naming and shaming anybody, rather, it wants to bring them to justice. You will see that the United Arab Emirates has given some names, and Attorney General of the Federation has reacted to that matter, saying that in due course all these people will have their dates and times. Well, this is however contrary to calls by Nigerians that the federal government should reveal the names of sponsors of Boko Haram and other terrorist groups in the country. For instance, the Middle Belt Forum recently challenged the federal government to yield to public demand of revealing the sponsors of Boko Haram, especially now that the 400 bureau de change operators have been identified by the United Arab Emirates authorities. Or the federal government name the sponsors of terrorism and absolve itself of culpability. Well, Silas, you can imagine this kind of a situation. Nigerians are saying if the presidency is really sincere, they should name sponsors of terrorism the way they name the sponsors of NSAS and block their accounts and also prosecuted them. If they do that to the sponsors of NSAS, why can't they do the sponsors of Boko Haram? Why are they not interested in naming the sponsors of terrorism?
That's a big question. And I would say it's a question that's kind of worrying many um, thoughtful Nigerians. Why this one? Why are they hiding this one? Are they afraid that some of their friends will be found to be complicit? You know, the government is in a very sticky ground in this matter. And even the energy with which they are sitting on not revealing it is also pointing to, trying to add fuel to the fire of conspiracy theories that this government is not telling us all that they know. And coupled with the fact that in the past, a few people have actually come out to say that this government, in the past, when it was in opposition, help to sponsor these men at the early stages before they went out of hand by arming the thugs who now turn to weapons. Because after elections, politicians don't take time to mop up the weapons to give the thugs to go and harass voters, just fight the opponents, and all. And those guns become, you know, you know, powerful tools in the hands of these unguarded young men who now use it for society. So that history is there. And even some members shall have come to say, we are behind, we are the cause of this. So the government refusing now to name, he said something interesting there. He said, now they have identified. It's as if the government is the one that found this. No, a foreign government through their intelligence network send these names to Nigeria. They did our work for us. Yet to have a lot of intelligence agencies, DMI, SSS, the intelligence of the police, the army, and all of them are there, and all the security agencies. We could not identify these ones all this while. They took a foreign government. They have even tried some people already in their country and jailed them, and now send all these things to carry on. And then the government is sitting around. They have a lot of questions, and I'm just asking, tell all these people, if you watch the US how they treat terrorists, people are accused of terrorism, they name them and say that these people are suspects in what? In this and that. Even if you look at the all these women that ran up to support ISIS, they identify them, they show their picture, they suspected to have gone to join ISIS, and these are what. So they will not, if they catch the person now have to stay in court and prove that the intelligence that the government has is wrong and free itself. Okay? But for us to insist with all the energy we have that they remain unnamed in a country known for sweeping things under the carpet. I don't think that the government is listening to Nigerians. They say Nigeria is not interested. Nigeria is not interested. It's the federal government of APC federal government is not interested in what? In naming those who are behind the work, who are up. And remember, it's not the first time that named people implicated. You just mentioned NSAS. Eh? They don't just NSAS, they mentioned those who were alleged to have followed in the $2 billion arms fund scam by Dasuke, former National Security Advisor. They listed, and the FCB listed 78 names of and companies of those who were set up from the $2 billion arms deal money. Then later the federal government to release another 23 names where they named some politicians, including the former PDP secretary, even the PDP chairman himself, secondly. They listed all of them as part of those who collected the money. They've not finished the trial, they've not found them guilty. So if you say that you will not release these people them because they are still suspects until found guilty, what about the ones you did in the past for offences that are much less grievous than terrorism? Anywhere in the world, they don't think terrorists and their sponsors with kid loads. You understand? In fact, some countries, once you are involved, you are gone. And here we are prosecuting around and say we cannot even mention their names. No. It's not Nigeria does not want to name them. It's the government of this current government APC doesn't want to list those who are behind terrorism. And that is why a lot of people have always accused this APC people, government of having had a hand in what? Fueling the terrorism. Let them come and tell us they're not part of it.
Yes, because even the United Arab Emirates identified 6 Nigerians among the sponsors of terrorism and still prosecuting the culprits in their own country. So why can't we name our own? How does naming this constitute a security challenge?
I want to take a very slightly different position. I have a worry in there. I'm going to say the word just after this speech. What Malami said is not new to investment. It's not new to the crime when the country is investigating a crime situation. It could mean that if they name some of these alleged sponsors, it will uh, it will put a will on the plug of the ongoing investigation. So, in a way, I think the government would be right to say, wait a minute, we are still investigating and we want to identify others who are connected to those who already have their names on our list. So, if we decide to let the cat out of the sack now, these other people who probably would not know that they have been identified or there is a link to them already, find a defense even before they are apprehended. Don't be surprised. Some of these people, persons may be in custody, they might have been apprehended only by DSS or other intelligence agencies. However, I have a worry. And my worry is that this has taken so long. You gave an instance of the NSAS, those who were alleged to have sponsored the NSAS protest, and the $2.1 billion administration, the government, that they brought that long list of who have collected money from here and there. And politicking on both sides, on all the years of investigation. But I agree, before names are mentioned. That even gossip in the country. By the time people start talking, that's whatever it is. And if eventually, if they conclude the investigation, maybe the trial will even be.
Yes.
And suspect or those who are linked to the sponsoring of Boko Haram is secret. I don't think it should be coming from the spokesperson of the president. It should have a serious, very serious reason, and, that shouldn't come from the president. Because this suggests to me that everything happening there is just politics with lives of
Something
innocent.
very serious.
Remember, the government was very quick to name some what is it called? Some separatist agitators or agitation groups as terrorists. But bandits, for God's sake, what is bandit? Who are the bandits? The bandits are not good, and you cannot say that whoever is perpetrating this kind of evil in every part of Nigeria. I,
Before we continue, actually contribute to this for the big issue. We'll be back very soon.
Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, it now is my very special pleasure and privilege to ask His Royal Majesty, the Sultan of Sokoto, the chairman or chairperson of the leadership group, to come forward and join me and hold on to one bit of this cloth so that we can jointly unveil the bigger, better, deeper Levoque.
The Big Issue. Breaking down the issues that matter.
Podcast. General Assembly. For as we're seeing recently, that is the reason why the government is finding it hard to expose concepts of terror activities in the country. Would it actually be that government has something to hide, or that government is actually hiding something?
Well, even before Commodore spoke this, of late, not quite long ago, our former president, Lord Jonathan, said members who go around were his government. You know, they had an insider group thwarting the activities of government to end Boko Haram. And it's very much worse to fight an enemy when you have an enemy within. It's very difficult. So, when the government says so, it's not really, it didn't come as a new thing to those who had it, because our former president had already said it, and nothing seemed to have changed. That even in the time past, Jonathan's time, soon there was, an attempt to fight Boko Haram frontally. I'm not saying they're not trying to fight Boko Haram, but you could see that the government of Jonathan, from the way to build the military and everything, they were trying very hard to contain the situation before they went out of hand. I remember the time from army staff that, you know speed up. Remember once Nura Senate, those in um this idea that But the issue is that it's that there is uh, morally and financially that are there where the this is why strife among the you know are discussed. So well, we might be wrong to think so, but a lot of Nigerians actually believe that this could be the reason why government is repeating about bringing out the you know. But I think it's up to the government to tell Nigeria this is not true.
Okay.
Uh,
Thank you.
they have the job to do.
Yes. You know, this government likes flying kites. Recall that when they captured IPOB leader Nnamdi Kanu, information minister Lai Mohammed said they have that they have the government has in droves information about those sponsoring IPOB. Till today, we are yet to get that information of the sponsors of IPOB. Many people are saying it appears government is playing to the issue of terrorism and its sponsors. What do you think?
Well, it is a serious matter. Serious and very, very serious. We may think localizing what is happening on the international scene is overreacting to the problems we have. But honestly, I don't think so. Look at what just happened in the police. And remember the Islamic Revolution in Iran, 1960. So if anybody thinks what is happening in Nigeria is not in any way similar, I think we are not ready to salvage the country. The truth of the matter is that all over the world, let me borrow from the words of a renowned scholar, Professor Abubakar Malami, he said we have a clash of civilization. And whether we like it or not, there are enemies of this kind of democracy in practice on the international scene. There are people who want to be friends with those who didn't believe in the kind of democracy in Nigeria and many countries of the world. I remember somebody raised an issue on the media some time ago that is the Cold War over? And it's a very tough idea to say it is or whether it is not. What scholars tag as Cold War is actually I think we should not play politics with everything. Those who are sympathizers of terrorism should be quickly rounded up and we should government to ensure that whatever it is wherever they are getting their economic sources from should be blocked. I want to believe that the government is aware. The government knows everything. That is my idea of the government. Because that is why we pay tax. That is why we support the government. And that is why when the says and everything, they say, no, we are not supposed to speak this way in the interest of the country. So I believe that the government knows what we don't do. But for political reasons, any serious government should now shoot certain people or excuse certain disputes in society. That would be too much. But I know very well that for the terrorism war. The government is approved. When former President Jonathan said there were comparable circumstances, he knew what he was saying. And when Commodore said, I can, you are aware, the government is aware. So Commodore didn't just speak from the truth. He was frustrated, he was angry, he knew that the government would need this thing if it got one way or the other, and they have not been able to do anything. That was why he came on there. So I think we should all think Nigeria, whether you are in the APC or you are in the PDP, you should think Nigeria first. In any case, I'm not saying it because between the two. So if you know because of elections or because people are sponsoring elections or some people sponsor elections and anybody can cross to any party, why should we not think Nigeria? Because if there is no Nigeria, there won't be decision there won't be political party. So I think if you think Nigeria, then they have maybe this is a solution to terrorism.
What Nigerians are asking the government to take the issue of concept of terrorism seriously, because the thinking is that these people have caused the death of over 30,000 Nigerians and created over 3 million IDPs and left the Northwest as part of the North Central desolate. So Nigerians want to be involved in naming and prosecuting this criminal. What is your views of this?
But Nigerians are kind of surprised and angry that the government is not treating them as, you know, how would I say, as harsh as they should be. Nobody treats terrorists with kid clothes. Nobody in the right senses uses a political consideration to approach. Let me tell you, those Nigerians do not think happen with the terrorist group. Those Nigerians, when the government in power, okay, quickly, you know, assign them the kind of terrorism and you know, consider this organized quickly and violent terrorists and kill us. So then you're asking them, why not treating bandits the same way? That's men that are killing more people the same way. And last time, everyone had not even set up an armed wing. Now they have an armed wing. You can say they are carrying out some attacks on the, they are not carrying out some attacks on the prisons, police, and the offices. That is, you know, you can carry them as well.
What you said just summed everything up.
You know, so that this this mixed reaction to different groups is making Nigerians worry because minutes.
Well,
Well, something.
yes, what we should be asking is that government should be more sincere.
Yes.
And let's tell ourselves the truth. In West Africa today, in fact, in Africa today, how many countries of the world, how many countries in Africa do you think have the same problem as Nigeria? Let's just look at it. We have Islam on our side, we have Boko Haram, now we have bandits. And they are all operating in every part of Nigeria, except for Islam and Boko Haram. Now, what that suggests is that there is something the government is not doing. It suggests that terrorists now see Nigeria as a fertile ground to operate.
Yes.
And the government should be worried about it. And I think the government should even be more sincere, like you said. It was very quick for government to name IPOP. It was very quick for government to arrest people in somebody's house in Ibadan. With unarmed, arrest unarmed Nigerians and come and charge them for terrorism. Whereas people who are calling about arming Nigerians, killing people,
Kidnapping people.
they have not, many of them have not been arrested. They have not even seen them.
They're not even treated
They're not even
with
so
the
I think
seriousness it
the
deserves.
government should wake up and the government should be more sincere and the government should not put political considerations above national security.
Well, that is the more we can take for today's big issue. And of course, I would like to thank our in-house analyst here for the job well done. Silas, that was a good one. And of course, we will not fail to thank you there for keeping tab with us out there. Join us tomorrow, same time for another edition of the big issue. And now, have a wonderful day.